This is some information about driving efficiency and possible range numbers for the 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5 SEL trim rear wheel drive only. My original goal was to do a 70 mile per hour test to see how far you could go at 70 miles per hour. And I'll talk about that here in just a minute. But it didn't work out because of traffic and construction. I wasn't able to get a constant 70 mile per hour. Matter of fact, I couldn't even get an average 70 miles per hour when I tried. But I got a couple of legs of a trip to show maybe what different efficiencies you can get at different speeds and maybe how that affects range and the total number of miles that you could drive if you kept driving in that fashion. So don't worry too much about the part that's coming up here where I'm talking about the 70 mile per hour test. Wasn't able to do that at this time, but I think for someone who's looking at buying one of these cars or already has one and has concerns about how far it can go and how efficient it is, this video would still be very helpful. I am getting ready to start a 70 mile per hour range test on the 2025 Ioniq 5 SEL rear wheel drive. I've looked over the entire internet and everyone else tested all-wheel drive or the N version or some other version, but not a rear wheel drive version. So I am here at the Circle K and just started with their handy little app. The car is close to full now, but I want to get to 100%. It's taking 31 kilowatt, even though it's in the mid 90s already, but we're going to get it to 100%. And I am here because, well, I don't know if you can see it through the canopy, right next to the interstate. This is I-57. I'll be going southbound in Illinois for about an hour, and then stop and turn around at an exit and drive an hour back with the intention of having the car constantly at 70 miles per hour. The temperature right now is about 80. By the end of the test, it might be more like 85. So a little warm, but a really good battery temperature. And this EV charging location has an air machine right next to it. So I'm going to make sure the tires are at the recommended pressure levels. And I'll take a shot inside the car when we start, and we'll do this test to see how many miles you could get in the 2025 Ioniq 5 rear-wheel drive. This is the SEL version, again at 70 miles per hour. Went inside Circle K and used the services and bought a Monster caffeinated but sugar-free drink, just in case I get a little drowsy while driving. I should be perfectly fine, but better safe than sorry. This is one of my longest chargers ever, going from maybe 91% to 100 is taking it's going to take about 18 minutes. It's only got 1% left to go, and the charging speed is way down, and you can see almost 19 minutes now, 99%. So we're just going to let this top off. Tires are all filled with air. Oh, by the way, these are the stock tires that came with the SEL, the 19-inch wheels. I think one could put 18-inch wheels and get even better range. Not done that on this car, and since it's a lease, I probably won't. Just gotta finish this, put the cord away, and then hop in the car. My intention is to run the air conditioner at about 74. Sometimes I think 70 or 72 is too cold, so about 74. And like I said, drive about an hour, trying to keep the speed as close to 70 as possible. A quick stop, and then turn back for another hour of driving back to this charger, and we'll see how much electricity we can put in the car, and we'll be able to calculate the average miles per kilowatt hour driving at 70 miles per hour in pretty good conditions. A teeny little bit of wind, but not bad. No rain, sun, maybe a little warm, and I'll check back with you. This photo is to show you the starting point here. The battery shown in the bottom right, 100% full. The car thinks I can go 419 miles, which is above the maximum of 415 miles, which means up to this point, I'd been driving relatively conservatively, or at least most recently, the last several trips were relatively conservative. But it also is 80 degrees, and like I said, very little to no wind. But it's going to be a little bit of a headwind, so that might hurt us a little bit. But this is the starting point of the trip. Well, I've decided to stop the test about halfway through. I had 10 miles of construction at the very beginning that I didn't know about. Some 40, 50 mile per hour driving, then 60s for a while. And after the construction, I thought maybe I can make up the speed by going a little bit faster. You can see what the cruise control was set at. After a couple of miles of that, I hit another batch of construction. So I could not even average 60 miles per hour on this trip, but you can clearly see that I got 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour. So not the test I wanted to do, but it's the test I got, and I just took an exit. I'm not even at a service station. So I'm going to reset the trip meter and drive back north. It looked like it had about half as much construction, so maybe I can get a 65 mile per hour test and see what we get out of that. As you may have seen, the average miles per kilowatt hour on the drive, the first leg was 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour. Going back, I was able to go considerably faster, almost averaged 70 miles per hour. The math says 69.72, but that might be plus or minus 1 or 2 miles due to the short distance and rounding error and that kind of stuff. But it gives you a comparison of 3.5 lower than 60 miles per hour and 3.4 when driving closer to 70 miles per hour. So that's, a very small loss of range. I think it's probably a bigger difference because of the effect of the wind, which was small, but the first leg I was driving into the wind, so I had a headwind, maybe 10 miles an hour. And then when I turned around and went back, I had a tailwind of 10 miles per hour. So normally one would do the whole combined thing and calculate, so but you got 3.5 and 3.4. So it's about the same. That gives you theoretical ranges of 272 to 280. If your efficiency is a little lower, you're not going to get that far. You might get 240, 250. And again, this is the rear wheel drive version, just for comparison's sake. The last image for us here is driving from the interstate back to my house. Wasn't particularly far, but it's 19 miles, driving on surface streets, stop and go a little bit, a couple of stop signs, a couple of stoplights. Not a real big deal. You can see I went almost 19 miles, but it took 25 minutes. So considerably lower average speed. And the efficiency here is 3.9 miles per kilowatt hour. The average speed works out to about 45 miles per hour. And as one might expect, at a lower speed in an electric car, you get more range. The math on this works out to 3.9 miles per kilowatt hour times the 80 kilowatt hour battery pack for a range of 312 miles. So, at 70, you're looking at 70 miles per hour, looking at something plus or minus 270 miles of range. At 45 miles per hour, something like 312 miles of range. And maybe at some point I'll be able to do an honest to goodness out and back speed test at 70 or 75 or 80. But just wanted to give people some range estimates of what you could do. And it was warm. It started at 80, went to 83, but the air conditioner didn't have to do a whole lot of work. It might use a little more energy if it was 100 outside. And of course, generally heaters to heat the car inside uses more electricity than the air conditioning seems to do. So you would get probably 10 to 15, maybe 20% less range in 5 degree Fahrenheit weather, something well below freezing. So that's just some information on the efficiency of this vehicle. Again, this is with the 19-inch wheels, rear-wheel drive only. The 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5 total battery pack is 84 kilowatt hour. My understanding is that the usable portion is 80 kilowatt hour, which means it's about 10% bigger than previous model years. So, of course, one can get about 10% more range.